The Val Thorens Valley is made up of 4 resorts: Val Thorens, Les Menuires and Saint-Martin in the main valley, and Orelle over the ridge to the right. This is the highest and widest of the Trois Vallées, with 161 pistes covering 300 kilometers and an average 600 centimeters of snowfall each year. The 3 large villages in the valley are the main base areas, providing a huge amount of mostly ski-in, ski-out accommodation options, and an abundance of restaurants, bars, and nightclubs.
The Val Thorens Valley has some incredibly long trails, mainly for intermediate skiers, and when conditions are good, a lot of piste adjacent and bowl skiing for advanced skiers brave enough to venture off the marked trails. There are a few green trails, but beginners will be skiing blues if they want to experience this valley. It's easy to burn energy on the slopes during the day and on a dance floor at night while at Val Thorens.
Getting to Val Thorens and Les Menuires is a couple of hours by car or shuttle from Chambéry or Grenoble airports, or 2.5 hours from Lyon or Geneva for international travelers. Add half an hour if you are using one of the regular coach services from these airports. Alternatively, take the train to Menuires and then a bus up to the resorts. The train option takes 4.5 hours from either Lyon or Geneva. Orelle is only an hour's drive from Chambéry and Grenoble, but the bus and train options are far more limited.
The coach option reduces changes or transfers and is reasonably quick. This is probably the easiest for groups and families. A hire car might be quicker, but be prepared to pay the express tolls and make sure you include chains in case of poor weather. If you're staying at Orelle, would recommend a car, but for Val Thorens, Les Menuires and Saint-Martin, a car is not needed.
There are ticket offices and toilets at each of the village base areas, although buying ski passes online is quicker, easier, and also provides a small discount. If you arrive early or plan to ski after checkout, then there is a luggage store at the bus station in the center of Val Thorens. There are restaurants, cafes, and bars in the villages, along with small Carrefour, Sherpa, and Spa supermarkets for everyday conveniences.
There are lots of on-mountain food options. Les Grands Lacs and Les Skis provide smaller restaurants and cafe options on the Saint-Martin slopes. There are options near the summit of Les Menuires, while at mid-mountain, Rock 7 turns up the Aprés vibes. On Val Thorens, there are elevated restaurants at the top of Peclet and Simcaron, while Chalet de la Marine provides a mid-mountain venue. Le Chalet du Thorens has fast food and restaurant options, and the DJ gets going late afternoon if you're in no hurry to get back to the village before the sun sets.
Let's get to the skiing. This is a big wide valley with all skiing above tree line. Great for soaking up the winter sun, but there are few places to hide when the weather turns or the wind is blowing. For the beginner, there is a learning area at Val Thorens base, but most of the green trails up here are thoroughfares for ski traffic, which may be a little scary for anyone starting out. Ducombe, off Cascades, provides a green trail a little away from the crowds. Montagnet and Violette provide longer, gentle trails for beginners down in Les Menuires. Orelle puts skiers straight onto the blue trails once they leave the learning area. There are a few gentle blues for more confident beginners like Petit Cru and Boyer in Les Menuires, and Dallas and Fawn further up in Val Thorens.
For young kids, Espos Junior provides a zone for kids to build confidence. More confident kids can take a look at Friendly Natural Park in Les Menuires for some skiing with a few activation features. The mix of blue and red trails across the resort is perfect for intermediate skiers. In Les Menuires, trails like Mont de la Chambre and Lac de Combe provide rolling blues to soak up the morning sun, while Boctan on the opposite face will have the legs burning as the elevation stats get wound up. On Val Thorens, Tetris provides gentle blues away from the crowds and has a northerly aspect. Further up the valley, Genappe is a rolling blue, great for building confidence, and Tetron provides a long winding blue that will burn off any excess breakfast calories.
Intermediate skiers ready to push steeper pitches have short reds across the resort to test themselves on. Skiing Chaudon, you'll be mixing with the crowds moving between valleys. Croissant has some steeper pinches, while Christine tends to be a bit quieter. Asters and Portet offer short, punchy reds great for testing skills. If the legs are fresh, then Col de la Zone and Haute Combe provide long, winding reds. On Les Menuires, Fred Covilli is a long red to test endurance, while across the valley, Becker is worth a look. Over on Orelle, Menuires has some steep sections, while Lori and Corail are enjoyable long, winding trails.
Advanced skiers will find a handful of black trails spread across the valley. These provide some steep groomers or short bumps like Cascades Trail. Combe des Carons provides a long mogul trail in the shadow of the mountain, so the snow tends to hold up well on this trail. If conditions allow, advanced skiers will find piste-adjacent areas and gullies across the resort, but assume the risk that comes with skiing in these areas. VT Park is the main Val Thorens park with a good range of features, while Pixel area is the Menuires terrain park. Both can get busy mid-morning.
A few things to be aware of for Val Thorens Valley. It is possible to buy a lift ticket for just Val Thorens and Orelle, or just Les Menuires and Saint-Martin, which will save you a little money. This will be fine for beginners not ready to explore, but intermediate or advanced skiers should only do this if you know where you plan to ski. It is easy to stray into another resort, especially on the left side of the valley, so getting the full Trois Vallées pass is recommended. These resorts are busy all year round and ridiculously busy during February half-term break, so expect queues at the lifts and company on the pistes. During our visit, Peklet had 15-minute queues, and Point de la Mas and Mas-Un were not much better mid-morning, and we were outside of school holidays. Expect queues on Bruyère and Three Valleys lifts early morning due to patrons moving between the valleys.
Snow conditions on the left side of the valley are more sun-baked due to the southwesterly aspect, while on the right, the northerly aspect generally makes for better snow. The higher elevation of Val Thorens generally makes for better snow conditions than most other resorts in France. Across the ridge to Orelle, the southerly aspect provides a place to escape a northerly wind or soak up sun on a cold winter's day, but the snow conditions can be variable on this side.
It's also worth noting the high volume of ski traffic on the trails has the corduroy scraped off early and leads to mini moguls and icy patches on the groomed trails. This might challenge intermediate skiers and those with tired legs. The trails tend to be less busy from mid-afternoon as patrons finish up early and get the Aprés spirit rolling, making for some great afternoon skiing when conditions are good.
If you're cutting through Val Thorens village, choose the right trail, otherwise you'll find yourself having to walk across roads to get back to the lifts. If you venture across to Orelle, down to Saint-Martin or over into Menuires, keep an eye on the time and check when the lifts close. Missing the last lift time can make for a long and expensive trip back. In most cases, it's cheaper to find a room for the night.
There's an incredible amount of accommodation in the Val Thorens Valley. Val Thorens is a large village with a range of accommodation options. Most are ski in, ski out, or a short walk to the slopes. The higher elevation means the snow around the village is more reliable. Les Menuires is more spread out along the side of the valley, nearly 500 meters lower than Val Thorens, and snow off the main trails in the village can be sketchy.
Saint-Martin is even further down the valley and requires multiple lifts or a bus ride to get up to Val Thorens. A more budget-friendly option is over the ridge in Orelle, but this is not ski in, ski out and requires a gondola ride up and down from the resort, not an option if you're there for the Aprés vibe.
In our opinion, Val Thorens is a great resort for intermediate skiers confident on blues and reds, and advanced skiers looking to carve up long rolling trails. Beginners will be mixing with general ski traffic and should be ready to test their skills on blues once leaving the learning areas.
The sheer volume of people on the slopes and lift queues may detract from the overall experience, but the snow reliability and spectacular terrain should be the Val Thorens memory that sticks. Although the odds are it will be the sunsets and the Aprés ski that has you coming back.
Check out our trail and lift videos to get the most out of your visit to the Val Thorens Valley.